Eastern, only on Fox and your Fox Sports app. All right, so Jalen Hurts led the Eagles to that NFC Championship game thanks to 3 total touchdowns scored in that big win over the Giants. After the game, Nick Sirianni had high praise for his QB. Check out what Sirianni had to say.
To have him out there is like, I know this is high praise, but to have him out there is like having, I shouldn't even go there, but like his having like Michael Jordan out there. Like, he's your leader. He's your leader. He's your guy. He's your, like that's, hopefully that's the biggest respect I can pay to him, comparing to his ability to be in on the field to a Michael Jordan type. Like, this guy leads. He brings this calmness to the entire team. He plays great football. He's tough as they come. Yeah, I mean, to me, there ain't nobody has played any better football than him this year.
Woo, high praise indeed. Maybe fighting words to some. Shannon, do you like or have a problem with what Sirianni said?
I don't have a problem with his skill because I understand that it's hyperbole. What he's saying is that there's a calmness that him being on the field brings to the rest of his team. But we also know that we can say that about any of the top quarterbacks. I'm sure Joe Burrow, when he's out there, everybody's calm and relaxed because they know they have a chance to win, or Patrick Mahomes, or whomever the top quarterbacks are. But he did look like he had gotten back to the Jalen Hurts. The guy that I saw the last game that he played against the Giants, I didn't see that guy yesterday. I saw a guy that was pre-injury. Now, he didn't throw the ball for 280 yards or anything like that, but I thought he brought a calmness, like Nick Sirianni said, and I thought he played with the composure. Man, that Lane Johnson being back did a world of difference because he was pretty much unscathed the entire night.
Yep.
And when you run the ball like they ran it, Skip, you run the ball 44 times for 268, it takes a lot of pressure off your quarterback, and you can't hit the quarterback when he ain't got the ball. When he handed it off to Kenny Gainwell and Miles Sanders, when you hand the ball off to those guys, that means the ball's not in your hands. You're not taking any shots. And he had some 16 to 24, 154. He got sacked once, but I thought he played really, really well. And I get the hyperbole of it, but I agree with you, Nick Sirianni. Let the guy know what he means to this offense. 28-0 at half. At some point, at 38-7, they completely took apart this defense because that defense now. That's the defense that I saw the first 8-9 games of the season. The defense that I saw the last month of the season, I didn't recognize them. The way they played, boy, that's going to be an unbelievable game on Sunday, Skip. That's going to be a game because both of these defenses are outstanding and both of these offenses are dynamic because they can put the ball in playmakers' hands and those guys can go make plays. But I thought Jalen Hurts was sensational. He didn't throw for a ton of yards, Skip. He didn't, 154, I think. But his presence. And sometimes that goes a lot further. That's Willis Reed game 7. Willis Reed had 4 points. We still talk about the heroics. The man had 4 points, not 40. He had 4.
But he immediately made a shot. And that's all that mattered. Set the tone.
He goes 7 for 7 on the opening drive, gets a touchdown, and they don't look back.
Okay. So I did pick the Giants to win this game with my heart over my head because I've told you from the start how much I love and believe in Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
But to your point, he did not look right to me. And I didn't think he would play exactly right against a very hot Giants team that knows them and is not afraid of them. But they came out and made an opening drive statement and never looked back because they also said, we ain't afraid of no Giants. And they turned the hot team into a not team right away. They just turned them right back into the same old New York football Giants. Yep. And I've told you before, I tweeted the moment they stole him in the second round that they have just stolen their future and that he will immediately be better than Carson Wentz because he's everything Carson Wentz was not as a leader. His intangibles are as high as you can get beyond the measurables, which are Carson Wentz's, because Carson Wentz is 6'5", 240 with a big arm, and he's got it all. He can combine you to death, but he can't intangible the way Jalen can intangible. And Jalen has turned himself into a very good thrower of the football.
Yes.
And he was always an underrated runner because he doesn't look like he's going very fast, but he seems to get free and get loose and run through a lot of people because he is the strongest pound for pound in that Eagles weight room. I told you he would change life in Philadelphia because he is their leader, he is their playmaker, and I I second the emotion of Nick Sirianni. I don't think it's too far to say he's our Jordan. He's not Michael Jordan in performance, obviously, because he didn't throw for 600 yards in this game. He did Jordan-esque things when they needed to get done.
You know what it is, Skip? It's just the fact that Chicago knew we got Michael Jordan, you don't. We got Jalen Hurts, you don't. We got one of these.
Yep.
We got Joe Burrow, you ain't got him. We got Patrick Mahomes, you don't have him.
No.
So guess what? We like our chances to win better than you like your chances of winning.
Okay, so right out of the box, what does Jalen Hurts do? I'm sitting back thinking, I wonder if he can get that thing going today, that right wing of his. And the first throw of the game, it's 2nd and 8 at the 27. This is barely into the game. Could we see what he did to Devontae Smith?
Deep crosser.
Yep. He said, I got this. And looked pretty good to me. It was right on the money for 40 big yards. And then he hits, we'll see it one more time. And then he hits Goddard down near the goal line. Goddard did some of the heavy lifting on the throw. If we could see it for a touchdown, it was for 16 yards. And before you could sort of catch your breath, it's 7-0. Just got him pretty open, and then Goddard just rammed it home. Okay, and then a little later, this is 3:23 left in the first quarter. It's 1st and 10 at the New York 17. And this is when I knew he was just fine, because he takes off on a 9-yard run here and put himself in harm's way. And he said, I'll take you. Hit me. Go ahead and hit my shoulder. And he took 2 or 3 licks, and I said, okay, he's fine.
Yep.
And here he went. He threw it to Devontae. I think we have this for 9 yards and a touchdown. And all of a sudden, before you could sort of get comfortable, and it's 14-0. And then,
I mean, the national anthem hadn't really stopped playing yet, and it's already 14-0. So you knew it was over at that point.
No. And then he has another big run on 3rd and 3 at the 20. This is 8:48 left in the second quarter. And he runs it for 7 more yards. And I'm thinking, this guy's a dynamo today, and he is not afraid to run it. That's a called run. Obviously, he's on the read option keeper. And I'm thinking that they're not afraid to run the football with him, which sets up the 268, because once you reestablish the threat of Jalen, then, okay, it's all over.
And he gets the touchdown.
And then he gets the touchdown at the end of the half. It's 28-0 at halftime. And
you know it was over, Skip. And I know we used to Skip, and we've had some games this year. We saw a game with 33-0 and all that other stuff. But I had seen no indication that the Giants was going to do anything more than get a touchdown or maybe a field goal, make it 3 points. 7 points or 10 points.
Yeah.
That's all I saw from them. Mm-hmm. And like I said, Daniel Jones, I mean, look, he played well against Minnesota. I think that has a lot to do. I'm not going to minimize what he did. Yeah, there's a reason why they were minors with that great record, but they were minors because when they get outscored, they lose 40-3. They lose 40-15 or 40-16.
Yep.
And when they win a game, Skip, they win in 23-22, 28-27, things of that nature. So it caused you some concern. And then they couldn't run the football. I mean, they ran the football pretty well. Saquon hit that one big one.
He did.
He got that 40-yard. He's like, okay, but it's too little, too late. Skip.
Yep. So they had a great year, did the New York Football Giants.
Yeah, they definitely got something to build on.
Brian Daboll changed a lot of things. Daniel Jones grew up before your very eyes.
I think he's a keeper.
He's a keeper, but is he Dak Prescott? Will he hit his head on the first round, second round ceiling each year?
I think the question you have to ask, Skip, do you see Daniel Jones cracking the top 10? Because I don't. Can you win a Super Bowl with a guy that's not in the top 10 at quarterback? Because if your guy's not in the top 10, everything else has to be exceptional around him.
Yep.
Your special teams, your defense, and you got to have skilled players out the yin-yang to overcome, because that guy touches the ball 65, 70 times a game. So how do you overcome that? Skip, when I look at it, I go back and I look at my 2000 Ravens, our defense didn't play any better for Trent than it did I forget, Tony Banks.
Yeah.
They didn't play any better. Trent just didn't turn the ball over.
No.
That was the only difference between the two. Trent didn't turn the ball over. He didn't make the mistakes. Defense played the same. They were still shutting people out. They were still giving up fewer than 11 points a game. Mm-hmm. But when you turn the ball over and you put your defense in harm's way, and they don't have to do anything and the team can kick a field goal, and you lose a game 10-6, well, it's like, okay, now we play mistake-free football. You're not driving the ball 80 yards on that defense.
Yep. So what do I see Daniel Jones versus Dak Prescott? Daniel Jones is a bigger man because he's taller and weighs more.
Right.
And he has a little better arm than Dak does.
Yeah.
And he's a lot faster than Dak
Yeah, I
is,
believe he's a
right?
better athlete than Dak.
Okay, he's just a better athlete overall.
I do.
Is he a better quarterback? I can't quite go
can't go
there.
there. Can't get there.
No, but is he good enough to make them viable? Could they win some divisions? Sure, they could. I just don't know if you can win a Super Bowl with Daniel
I
Jones.
just think right now, Skip, the best quarterback head and shoulders is Jalen Hurts in that division.
It is.
Where at the start of the season, I gave the division to the Cowboys
did.
because I thought Dak was the better quarterback. I don't think it's close now. I don't think any rational, prudent person, whether you're a Cowboy fan or not, or a football aficionado, can say Dak is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts.
Wow. Okay, so what can I tell you about this upcoming game, Jalen Hurts versus Brock Purdy? Well, once upon a time, when Jalen Hurts played that 1 year for Lincoln Riley for my Oklahoma Sooners, I got to see them go head-to-head in Norman. And the final score was 42-41, Oklahoma and Jalen. But we were ahead 42-21 in the fourth quarter, and Brock Purdy just came firing back.
Yes.
And it went all the way down to a two-point conversion try that was intercepted in the end zone for us to survive that. But Jalen outplayed Brock Purdy in the grand scheme of things, and I think he will be able to outplay him again.
Skip, this is going to be a very interesting game because I believe you got the two best offensive lines that's still playing. I think when you look at the skill position and their ability to run after catch from the running back, from the tight end to the wide receivers, this thing is very, very evenly matched. The only difference, Hurts is a big upgrade over Purdy.
He is.
But when you look at the offensive lines, you look at the skill players, A.J. Brown, Debo, Devontae, Ayuk, Jennings, Kittle, Goddard, the running back, Mitchell,